LeMaster Common Sense Living podcast. Today, I'm going to have a happy talk. We're going to talk about the top traits of happy people that they have in common, gratitude, things like that. So, an uplifting in a kind of depressed situation in the world. So, the pursuit of happiness is more a choice than something that occurs by happenstance, but there are verifiable traits that those who achieve happiness tend to share. Making an effort to have deeper conversations could be a key to increasing happiness. Findings demonstrate that the happy life is social rather than solitary and conversationally deep rather than superficial. On one hand, well-being may be causally antecedent and having substantive interactions. Happy people may be social attractors that facilitate deeper social encounters. On the other hand, deep conversations may actually make people happier. Just like self-disclosure can instill a sense of intimacy in a relationship, deep conversations may instill a sense of meaning in the interaction partners. Therefore, our results raise the interesting possibility that happiness can be increased by facilitating substantive conversations. Meaningful conversation increased life satisfaction, but small talk was less impactful, showing little effect one way or the other. People who spend a lot of time alone are less satisfied with their lives and have lower well-being, while people who spend more time interacting have more meaningful, substantive conversations, are more satisfied. The happy life is social rather than solitary, and meaningfully so. Further, while small talk wasn't beneficial, it wasn't decidedly negative either. It may have a place in leading to more meaningful conversations. Small talk is a necessary component to our social lives. You can't usually walk up to a stranger and jump right into a deep existential conversation because of social norms. Personality types such that both introverts and extroverts stand to benefit from meaningful talks. Personality might make a difference. For example, that extroverts might benefit more from social interactions than introverts, or that substantive conversations might be more closely linked to well-being for introverts than for extroverts. Surprisingly, that this does not seem to be the case. Positive humor helps maintain happiness. Along with regular deep talks with friends and family, previous research has identified the four following personality traits as being associated with happiness. Extroversion, locus of control. Yes, you heard that right. Locus of control. That is such a phrase. Self-esteem and optimism. Researchers writing in Europe Journal of Psychology took the findings a step further, revealing that people with these four personality traits are happier because they use positive humor in their daily life. The happiness of happy people does not depend on life circumstances. Rather, happy people seem to have personalities that allow them to find happiness even in the midst of adversity and challenging life conditions, the study noted. And humor, it turns out, makes an effective adaptive strategy to maintain happiness. Not just any type of humor was beneficial, however. Self-defeating and aggressive humor styles were linked to less happiness, while positive, self-enhancing, and affirmative behavior did the opposite by helping people cope with difficult circumstances. What's the difference in the styles of humor? Aggressive humor is used as a means of teasing, criticizing, or manipulating others, and may be used as a way to demonstrate superiority over others. Self-defeating humor may be used to avoid confronting problems or dealing with negative feelings, and may make fun of your own weaknesses. Self-enhancing humor is used to maintain positive psychological well-being by means of distracting yourself from adversity. And affiliative humor is used to entertain others, which helps enrich the quality of social relationships. A positive sense of humor, encompassing both self-enhancing and affiliative styles, is indeed another common thread among people who call themselves happy. The researchers explained, findings suggest that people who are high in extroversion, internal locus of control, optimism, and self-esteem have developed adaptive strategies of using humor in daily life, which in turn make them happy. They experience greater happiness because they are better at finding strategies to regulate their emotions, and habitual use of positive humor is one of those strategies. Happy people may be adept at using positive humor styles as a means by which they frame or appraise life events to form positive, self-affirming views of the self. Indeed, people protect their psychological well-being by using self-enhancing humor as a means of reframing stressors in a more positive, lighthearted way. Additional indicators of happiness: there's a close relationship between being kind and being happy. Happiness levels increase when people count their own acts of kindness for a week. Further, kind people experience more happiness and have happier memories, with one study suggesting happy people are more kind in the first place, and they become even happier, kinder, and more grateful following a simple intervention like counting their acts of kindness. As for why kindness makes people happy, this is still being explored, but it's known that your brain produces feel-good hormones and neurotransmitters like serotonin when you're kind, and kindness helps you to build strong relationships with others, fostering positive feelings and stronger, more meaningful social interactions all around. Giving to others is also linked to happiness, and generosity is certainly one form of kindness. People who agreed to spend money on others made more generous choices, as well as had stronger increases in self-reported happiness compared to those who agreed to spend money on themselves. Those who agreed to give to others also had more interactions in brain regions linked to altruism and happiness. Like generosity, gratitude can also produce measurable effects on a number of systems in your body, leading to better sleep, more positive emotions, and more, including beneficial effects on neurotransmitters, serotonin and norepinephrine, inflammatory and immune systems like cytokines, reproductive hormones, the testosterone, stress hormones, cortisol, blood sugar, social bonding hormones, oxytocin, blood pressure and cardiac and EEG rhythms, cognitive and pleasure-related neurotransmitters, dopamine. Sleep may be an overlooked part of being happy. Most research into happiness has focused on its social ties, but research has also found that people who sleep well are more satisfied with life, even after controlling for other factors like personality. As many societies become more competitive and market-oriented, sleep is easily regarded as a waste of time and money. However, sacrificed sleep may create a vicious cycle of making the world appear as a zero-sum competition, which aggravates interpersonal stress, researchers wrote in Frontiers in Psychology, adding, what constitutes a good life? Many people in modern society may shove a good sleep below other priorities such as high status or income. However, our study suggests that this inconspicuous daily routine not only restores the body, but also elevates the mind's view of life. Even the happiest people have negative moods occasionally. Very happy people at the highest level of happiness were highly social and had stronger romantic and social relationships than less happy people. In this case, the happiest people did not exercise more than the less happy people, nor did they participate in religious activities more often or experience more good events. However, they did tend to be more extroverted, more agreeable, and less neurotic, and having a good social relations was a necessary component. It's important to note, too, that while the happiest people experience positive, though not ecstatic feelings, most of the time they also had negative moods on occasion. In short, it's completely natural to feel down sometimes, but happy people have ways of coping with negative emotions, so they're able to turn them around and maintain a bright outlook overall. So try this to be happier. If you want to be happier, research suggests putting effort into your social relationships, particularly nursing those that provide deep, meaningful conversations that will pay off. Likewise, be kind and keep a running tally of your acts of kindness, no matter how big or small. Be sure to get quality shut-eye each night and practice living in the present moment, not focused on past regrets or future worries. Ultimately, however, the social component of happiness cannot be ignored. If you're feeling lonely or socially isolated, the following strategies can help you make meaningful connections with others in your community, which will ultimately increase your level of happiness. You can join a club that interests you, volunteer for a cause you believe in, enroll in a class to learn a new skill or hobby, Create rituals of connection, such as calling a certain friend every Monday. Join a gym or sign up for a fitness class so you can exercise with others. Frequent local shops and markets where you can build relationships with shop owners and other regular customers. Talk to strangers during your daily commute at the grocery store and while walking your dog. Consider adopting a pet such as a dog, which can provide companionship and a source of unconditional love, as well as act as an icebreaker socially. You can move closer to your friends and family and attend religious services or support groups. That article was, I found with Dr. Mercola. And this one here is another article. The science of happiness and well-being show more than just psychological benefits. Your physical health gets better too. While the desire for happiness is universal, human beings have mental habits that mislead us into less than optimal choices. We overestimate how much happiness we'll get from hoped-for events and how crushed we'll be by adverse ones. In our quests, we also underestimate the power of certain activities: meditation, a time-honored path to a happier outlook, volunteering, exercise, light conversation to give us a lift. So what has scientific investigation into the cause of durable human happiness taught us? If you want only 2 words, that's easy: be kind. On that point, happiness, science, and the great religions completely agree. But let's go a bit deeper into the science of happiness. Our culture misleads us. The media message is that power, luxuries, and wealth, marriage, and beauty are all important. In fact, people with money-based goals end up less satisfied with their lives. The more you earn, the more you think you need to earn. We're mainly affected by how well we think we're doing compared to others. What about the quest for true love? Getting married may not make you happier, even if it's a reasonably good match. People tend to adapt to a marriage and return to their previous happiness baseline. An example is when the honeymoon is over 2 years later, the old you shows. If only I were better looking, but losing weight won't reliably make you happier, and plastic surgery doesn't relieve anxiety or depression. Again, the problem is comparing yourself to others. So know your strengths. Happiness comes from activity, not outcome, from doing your job well rather than from getting a raise, for example. Using your strengths is energizing. Do you know what yours are? Your strengths may have evolved over time. My top strength was creativity in my garden, but after all we've been through the last couple of years, my strength is kindness. I was surprised and touched by the number of people who helped strangers, calling, delivering food, and encouraging them. All that kindness made me value kindness even more. Pick a top strength and use it at least once a day in a new way for a week. When I'm feeling down, I whip into kindness actions such as giving someone a compliment. Some time ago, an elderly man asked for my number. We texted for a while, but he was disappointed when I never found the time to talk. Today I agreed, and we had a pleasant conversation. It was a good deed and good for me, too. The conversations between strangers give both sides a little lift. In general, being kind makes most of us happier. Try to do 7 new acts of kindness a week. These don't have to be dramatic, but they should be clearly helpful. While shopping with a dear male friend, an elderly lady was trying to cross the street. He got out of the car and escorted her safely across, and I made a mental note of his action. Let's say you were given a chunk of money. It's been predicted Americans would be happier if they spent it on themselves, but in fact, the people who gave it away reported more happiness. The same study found that people who spend more of their income on others are happier. One time, while shopping, standing in line to buy my goods, the frail older lady ahead of me was trying to find her money to pay. I interjected, saying I wanted to pay it for her. And I did this, although I was losing my job soon. I had it and could contribute. Made me feel good. What will make you happy may be free and at hand. Expressing your gratitude to someone in person is a proven happiness booster. Keep a gratitude journal. Writing down 3 things that went well and why every day for a week can lift your happiness for months. If you want only 2 words, once again, be kind. Meditate. It offers more mental control. Guided meditations are essentially a form of prayer. The popular loving kindness meditation can cut symptoms of depression. Mountains of evidence show that getting enough sleep and exercise are each linked to positive mood. So why do so many of us go without? Many people say they don't have enough time, but you may be sacrificing your health, including your mental health, pursuing goals that won't lead to your happiness. Eating well is also linked to well-being. We think that sweets make us happy, but research has found that eating fruits and vegetables boosts mood. People who eat the most fish have a lower risk of depression. Before we decide that our happiness depends on a major change like moving to a new city or refusing to speak to our relatives, science suggests going back to basics. Spend more time doing the things that energize you. Go for a brisk walk, talk to a stranger, cook a salmon dinner for a friend, volunteer or donate to a cause that moves you, and be kind. Lastly, this article is on gratitude. The grateful mind expects good things. The grateful mind is constantly fixed on the best, therefore it tends to become the best. It takes the form of the best and will receive the best. This is a quote from Wallace Wattles' Science of Getting Rich, written over 100 years ago. When we experience gratefulness on a daily basis, we are expecting that good will come into our lives. That in itself is a powerful statement. How often are we only grateful once something good happens? The difference is in expecting it before it happens. When we experience gratefulness on a daily basis, then we are fixed on the best, and that's what we receive, the best life has to offer. What happens when we don't live in gratitude? Our lives move in contracted ways, and that comes from a belief that we aren't deserving. Gratitude is the vibration of flow and expansion. It actually increases our sense of deserving. Want to be a person of gratitude? Go around your house and just look at everything you see. Really look at it and be grateful. See all your knickknacks you've collected over the years. They have real meaning to you. Be grateful for all the experiences these objects represent in your life. A great habit to develop is that of keeping a gratitude journal and write 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for that day. Your life will change for the better once you become a person of gratitude. I know. All good things come to me since I became grateful. Allow me to share my daily prayer that I do at 11:11 every day. With your hands in a prayer position, to the third eye, to your lips, and to your heart. And you're going to make, this is the way I do it, but make it to suit you. So with that, we're going to end on this. I give gratitude and thanks to God for all my blessings, and please keep them coming. I give gratitude and thanks to all the educators for teaching us truth and bringing us into your fold. I give gratitude and thanks to my heart for receiving your healing, loving kindness, creating every cell as perfect, vibrant, healthy, and whole. And so it is. Amen. And I do that at 11:11 every day. And if everyone did that, the earth would be bombarded 24/7 with healing, loving light 24/7. I got that prayer a little over a year ago from a cryon channeling, and I do not remember the lady's name, but she did that prayer. Everyone I share that prayer with just thinks it's awesome. And by the way, if you're busy and you can't do it at 11:11 that day, because sometimes I'm with a client and I can't, so intent covers you. And intent is a very powerful prayer in itself. Also, if you're driving the car, have one hand on the steering wheel and the other can act as in the 3 areas. So I thank you for joining my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and please share and like, and see you next time. All right, bye-bye. Toodaloo. Thank you for tuning in to my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend. And be sure to subscribe yourself. You'll find me on iTunes, Spotify, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next week with another insightful episode of Common Sense Living. I can hardly wait.